there's a lot of things that people are talking about in this game because this game is doing a lot of stuff differently than other fighting games and previous ArcSys games and previous Guilty Gear games. And these two things are the counter hits and the wall. So I want to talk about the wall first. So I need a meter though. So now, when they showed this off, people were really bugging about it, because this is, I'm not gonna say it's the first time, but it might be the first time in a meaningful way that this happens, where your combos break the wall. So like normally in a 2D fighter, when you go to the corner, you're really strong. It's like you earned the corner, right? So you're really strong. You earned the corner. Depends on the game, whether or not you earned the corner. But you got them to the corner, you're really strong. ArcSys has had, actually, because some people have been really surprised by this, especially people who only play Guilty. So this is like a thing that I'm half coming at people who only play like GG Boomers. I'm kind of coming at you guys. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of coming at GG Boomers. If you played other ArcSys games, you would see why this is in existence. This is in the game. If you played other games, but you only played Guilty Gear, so you don't know. I'm sorry. Okay. It might seem random. If you're a casual player too, it might seem random. If you like, watch Street Fighter, watch Marvel vs. Capcom, watch whatever, it might seem kind of random. But actually, ArcSys for about like almost 10 years now have been slowly changing like how return works in games. And I think it really started in like BB. And it might be funny to say that, but for a while, like, in these type of games, one thing, and, like, Marvel's a kind of good example, too. Like, if you get, like, a really good random hit, right? Like, a really good random hit mid-screen, you convert that somehow, you push it as far as you can into your knockdown. Whether or not it's mid-screen or corner, doesn't matter, right? Like, you just push it, right? So the original thing we had to deal with this is bursts. Like, oh, fuck you, I'm gonna get out of this combo. Fuck you. Boom. So you usually get one, you can get it back. They messed around with doing it different ways. Like, okay, cool. In BBCS 1 is one of the most fair cursed games that ArcSys has made. It's weird science, right? Because BBCT is just cursed. Just flat out cursed. Straight up, right? But BBCS 1 is like cursed and fair, but it's cursed. And the really big thing about BBCS 1 is that it's really actually freeform combo-wise, like this game. But the difference is you always got fucking fat-ass combos off everything. So, like, this would go into, like, 30% type of thing. And then you bring them to the corner, and then you fucking run your shit, right? So, in BBCS 2, so BlazBlue Continuum Shift 2, they did a pretty big change that pissed basically everybody off. But over time, people were like, okay, this is fine. And it was the mid-screen, you get no damage, corner, you get big damage thing. And mid-screen, not only do you get no damage, but you also get not great follow-up situations mostly off your hits. It's one of the reasons why a lot of like the super standard characters like Noelle, Jin, like they were really good in that version was because like everyone was kind of not watered down, but like the mid-screen game was not rewarding for basically everybody but those characters, and corner carry became really important and stuff like that. And that trend continued for a while, of like mid-screen, nothing, corner, something, mid-screen, nothing, corner, something. They kind of skipped this with Exerd, even though they kind of old Guilty Gear kind of has this built into it because you don't usually get combos off 4 pokes in Guilty Gear. It's really rare and usually unfair when characters get stuff like that, right? So it brings us to today, because there's been a trend of this thing. So think about Dragon Ball, last game, the game before this, Dragon Ball, cool. Or even Granblue 2 falls into this. Mid-screen, if you get a hit in Dragon Ball, you knock them down. In mid-screen, it is so hard to keep your offense, right? You have to corner them. Granblue, you don't get shit when you hit characters mid-screen, only in the corner, stuff like that. Okay, so this changes the dynamic now. So now in this game, you do kind of get big hits mid-screen sometimes. The thing about this now is when you break this wall, And this is what people are missing. Like, we're really used to getting, like, earning the corner, and then running the shit that whatever your character does to, like, do their shit, right? The thing about the wall in this game, when you break the wall, you become a super character. You become a super character because in GG, meter is the most important thing in GG, and you get passive meter. Like, the game should end when you break this wall. You become really, really, really powerful when you break this wall. Like, incredibly powerful when you break this wall. Like, it's a combination of, because you gotta think too, the damage is really high in this game. So it's a combination of keeping people out of traditional oppressive situations, because they're always trying to figure out ways to like mitigate setup, strong setup type of thing. So it's a combination of that, but also giving you a return for doing this. Again, if you break this wall with super, you do get a hard down, 1. And 2, like, when you break the wall like this, not only is your character super strong and you get access to these things, but your opponent is, like, extra losing. Like, extra losing when you return. Like, your opponent can't wait you out because you're getting meter for free. Like, most characters have some type of tool that goes from neutral to point blank, and you're gaining meter for free during that whole time. Like, usually that next touch is death because the damage is so high. So a lot of people are trying to think about, like, you know, like, let us choose whether or not to break the wall type of thing. But this game is, like, you would be bursting anyway, you know? Like, when you get hit, you'd burst them away to get rid of the situation, right? With the damage as high as it is, they would basically have to tone the damage down to make it an old-style game. Straight up. I think people really need to think about the wall, like the character, when you break that wall, what your character has to both get back in, because you basically can get back in right away, and the mix that's coming after that, because like that is really, this game I think is going to turn into mega degenerate. Like, the mix-up's just going to be too degenerate. The only thing I want from the wall, the only 2 things I want from the wall is I want to clearly see how much HP the wall has, somehow. And I want the wall break to kill without supers. Those are probably the 2 things about it. Even in Milia's case, like in Milia's case, it's like you do this. Let's say you do this simple mix-up combo of some sort. You know, combo into here. You break the wall from that combo. The next time she touches you, over. Like the round, because then she's gonna do this after making you block. So. I think it's like a pretty bad situation. Like, I was sort of thinking about this compromise too, because Mei has the ability to sideswap and keep people mid-screen in her combos sometimes. But the advantage you get from breaking the wall, and especially because some characters, it helps deal with characters with low life. Sorry, not low life, low damage. Like, you do a bunch of damage when you break the wall too, so it helps out with that as well. The thing that bothers me about the wall is in matchups where, and I mentioned this in another video, where it's all about one character keeping out another character, and the character that gets in needs to get in one time to win. Like, if that character breaks the wall, goes back to neutral, I think that dynamic's kind of fucked, which bothers me. But besides that, like, I think it's just like you gotta change how you think about it a little bit and stop trying to force the old way and do what the game tells you to do. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. So then the other thing is counter hits. Let's talk about counter hits. We'll put the opponent in counter hit states. Okay. This is just kind of annoying, right? But it changes the dynamic of Guilty Gear quite a bit. For the big hits, it's not such a meaningful thing. I mean, you're gonna get a combo of this whether or not you're playing AC or Exert or Strive, right? A big hit like that. But I think one of the big actual things is this counter hit. So not this is like the Skrillex counter hit, right? We're not talking about that. We're just talking about like the bass drop counter hit. Okay? Because now it adds a new dynamic to the mid-range poking game where, and let's set our boy to random. Okay. So Guilty Gear, as I said before, if you're paying attention, most characters cannot combo off far hits, right? Okay. Maybe if it, there you go. So like, if I get this, what am I supposed to do? Actually, let's turn off counter hit just for a second. So if I get this, you know, if I have meter, you know, I could do that, right? Or if I have meter, I could do that. That's new to Exerd, right? So in Exerd, it made it so you can convert off of far pokes pretty consistently. In XX, you basically could not convert off this unless you did like a super, if your character had a super that could do something like that, right? Which is not that common, again. Now, with the counter hits being like this, now you have the ability to, it's not a big convert, but it's an advantageous situation off counter hit, which definitely changes the dynamic of the mid-range game, right? It's changed because of this. If you gotta be a little woke, but if you can do it, it's a pretty big deal. There's a difference between like that, because generally these type of hits are minus on hit, but you're so far that like you guys can play guessing games and stuff. The difference between that and getting a knockdown is pretty big. It's really, really important. The freeze is annoying. Not even annoying. It's just weird. Like, cause we're not used to it being that way. And the way the game freezes, it gives you time to do other stuff too. So it's gonna add a little bit of extra planning for your mid-range games. And one of the best things too is that these counter hits, these light counter hits, you don't actually get like special stuff off it, like ever, which I think is definitely by design. But yeah, these two mechanics people are talking about a lot. I just wanted to add my thoughts to them. The stream, you guys have any questions about this shit? Is wall break really that good? I mean, when your character becomes a super character when you break the wall. To be fair, you could say, well, you know, when Melia knocks you down, she becomes a super character. Like, to be fair. But like the passive meter gain, like for a character like Melia who's not good at building meter, like having passive meter gain for a long time is fucking like